Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. Today is August 14th, 2025, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, Bitcoin trades to new all-time highs, gives it up, but it's still on its highs. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So we have at 2:30 South African time from the United States, PPI, Producers Price Index. That's an inflation report on the producer side. Now looking at the market, starting with the Forex symbols, we're watching the British pound continue to gain versus the US dollar, and looking at the indices, the Dow Jones has a huge rally up while the NASDAQ sitting on its highs. Looking at commodities, we're watching gold giving up its gains from the previous day, and looking at the stocks really mixed all over the board. However, the indices did gain. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin sitting close to its highs. So let's look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go with the GBP USD. British pound on its resistance level. You can see that beautiful rally up to it. Question is whether or not it's going to push further. Now, the counter move would probably be about 50%. So it's not going to be that big of a deal on the counter move, but I would expect a counter move coming up. Now, looking at the commodities. Okay, we're going to skip the rest of the Forex symbols because it's not really showing us much. So let's take a look at gold. Gold loses its momentum. Actually, this morning, just recovering just a little bit from that sell-off. We did get a move higher and finally a move lower. Okay, and so it's choppy market for gold. Nothing's new when it comes to gold in terms of that. Crude oil also did sell off back on its $63 level. Now, looking at the U.S. markets, they did rally. Dow Jones yesterday had a big day, 400-point day, back to at all times record highs. And looking at the NASDAQ, close to its record highs, as you can see here, as close as you can get, 23,942, and we're just at 23,840. So we're not that much off of it. So keep in mind, however, the stocks are mixed, okay? So there's should be a strong list stock, a weak stick list stock, and somewhere in between as well. So looking at it, let's break it down. JP Morgan did get an up day, okay, but Microsoft did get a sell-off day, okay? So you could see that, you know, the market is not trading in tandem altogether. Now looking at Facebook, just off of its record highs from 792, okay? And looking at Apple also, it did gain to 233, so a big comeback for Apple there. Now looking at the rest of the stocks, Cisco sold off after coming out with its quarterly earning reports yesterday. Just a minor sell-off. I wouldn't call it major sell-off, okay? But there's an anticipation with the last CPI number moving forward that the Fed is going to decrease interest rates. So we may get a momentary sell-off, okay, just for us to, you know, sell off to the balance of the summer, okay, but there could be a unfolding to that. Now I'm looking at Netflix also selling off. So like I said, it's across the board almost, okay? There's been a little bit of pockets of opportunity. Now looking at Bitcoin yesterday, we traded to 124. We touched it, 124, 441, but we gave up some of those gains. We're just off of our highs. So we'd probably be using this area as a supportish area, but keep it in mind. Now looking at that massive volume below us, you can see that it is gaining traction as it's gaining to new record highs as well. So considering this to be the case, okay, I'm still very bullish on Bitcoin as it seems to be, you know, very strong here. This is Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.
My advice, this is the best time to trade.